Welcome to The Explainer. If you're trying to grow a business in Vietnam's online market, you know how incredibly tough it is to stand out. So today, we're going to break down a really clear strategy from our source material that's all about one thing, turning that online visibility into real, measurable growth.
Okay, let's dive right in. The main challenge for any company, whether you're local or foreign, is just cutting through all the noise. With so many businesses online, how do you grab someone's attention and, more importantly, turn that attention into actual customers? That's the core problem we're exploring here.
First things first, let's set the stage, because you can't really build a winning strategy until you understand the battlefield you're on. So let's look at the key challenge. The source makes one thing crystal clear. Vietnam's online space isn't just growing, it is absolutely exploding. And that means the fight for those top spots on search engines is just fiercer than it's ever been. Simply having a website isn't going to cut it anymore. Visibility is the whole game. So you're facing this insane competition. What's the move? What's the solution? Let's take a look at how this strategy is framed to tackle that exact problem. I love this mission statement because it immediately shifts your focus. The goal isn't just to hit #1 on Google so you can brag about it. It's about real business outcomes. This whole idea, connecting your online presence directly to your bottom line, is what drives the entire strategy. So how do you actually put that mission into practice? Well, the source outlines a pretty detailed toolkit of services. Let's break down the different pieces. The entire approach is built on 5 distinct pillars. You start with local SEO to catch all those near-me searches, right? Then you expand with Vietnamese SEO that's actually culturally aware. For anyone selling online, it plugs directly into big platforms like Tiki and Shopee with e-commerce SEO. And all of that is supported by a solid foundation of technical SEO for speed and performance, plus authoritative content and links to build up trust. Now, the emphasis here on being hyper-local is so important. It goes way beyond just translating a few keywords into Vietnamese. We're talking about optimizing for near-me searches in Hanoi, sure, but also creating campaigns that actually resonate during huge cultural events like Tet. That shows a much deeper understanding of the market. And this shows you the other side of the coin. It's not just culture, it's code. To succeed, you have to optimize for these massive local e-commerce platforms like Tiki and Shopee. You've got to make sure your site is blazing fast for Vietnam's mobile-first users. And you need to speak the technical language of search engines using tools like schema markup. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work? The source material points to a few really compelling case studies with some specific numbers. So let's look at the proof. Let's start with a brick-and-mortar retailer. For a chain in Hanoi, this strategy led to a 220% increase in organic, real-world store visits. We're not just talking about website traffic here. We're talking about actual people who found them through a local search walking right through their doors. Now for e-commerce. A brand in Ho Chi Minh City saw its organic sales jump by 300%. And the really key detail here is the timeline. This wasn't over years. This result was apparently achieved in just 4 months. That shows you how fast a focused campaign can have a huge impact on sales. And finally, this result for a B2B company really highlights the speed and precision we're talking about. Getting a #1 for a dozen high-value keywords in less than 3 months, that can completely change the game for your sales pipeline. These results naturally lead to a bigger strategic question. Why invest all this time and effort in SEO when you could just, pay for ads? Well, the source material offers a direct comparison. The core difference really boils down to ownership. Paid ads give you instant visibility, but it's like renting an apartment. The moment you stop paying the rent, you're out. SEO is more like building a house. Yeah, it takes an upfront investment, but it becomes a long-term asset that keeps generating value and builds organic trust, something that little ad label next to a search result just can't replicate.
All right, let's wrap this up by looking at a couple of very practical questions that the source material hits on directly.
This is a critical point, right? Is this kind of sophisticated strategy only for the big players, the giant corporations with massive budgets? And the answer is a clear yes. The strategy is designed to be scalable, with packages reportedly available just for small and medium-sized businesses that need to get a foothold and start competing.
And of course, the most practical question of all. When can a business expect to see a return on this? How long does it actually take?
Well, the timeline really depends on your goals. For local businesses that are targeting a specific city or district, you could start seeing a real impact in just a couple of months. Now, for broader, national campaigns, it's more of a journey. Think 4 to 6 months to really build up that authority.
So all of this leaves us with a final, crucial question. In a digital world of fleeting trends and algorithms that change all the time, is building a long-term, trusted, organic presence the most secure asset a business can have? The strategy we've examined today is betting that it is. The real question is, for your business, is that a bet worth making? That's something to think about.